To discuss the Lorraine Cross Award for Prize-Based Medical Innovation, we have with us Micah Aberson and Dr. David Pearce of Sanford Health, and Dr. Katherine Hyde, the 2018 award recipient, joining this year's winner.
A thread through history, telling of the past, while carrying a legacy of hope and faith in a new and better tomorrow. The Lorraine Cross, a symbol deeply rooted, tied to those refusing to back down in the face of adversity, willing to fight for what they believed. From upon the banners of French Crusade forces to atop hospitals across America, this powerful figure has stood strong for centuries, both calling out to those in need of sanctuary and rallying those determined to make a difference, no matter the odds or the status quo that define the times. Sanford Health is honored to write another page in the storied legacy of the Lorraine Cross. The Sanford Lorraine Cross Award brings to light the medical crusaders of today, who are following in the footsteps of those who came before. The rule breakers, nonconformists, mavericks, and innovators. Those whose passion for transformative change could not be contained.
At Sanford Health, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is surrounding ourselves with other people that have done tremendous things and made significant contributions to humanity, to their clinical or research practice. And the Sanford Lorraine Cross Award aligns so well to that. As an integrated healthcare delivery company, we've got a tremendous research operation and clinicians that are spending their days, day in and day out, focused on trying to eradicate a disease state, trying to bring cures as quickly as they can from bench to bedside. And so our ability to sort of go out and find like-minded people across the globe that have done remarkable things, introduce them to our researchers and to our clinicians, just adds so much value to what we're trying to do.
The award was really about, we want to reward other people that have the same philosophy as us. Our philosophy in research is to impact our patients, to make a difference, to cross the finish line with something that's really going to treat a malady or a disease and improve the health of an individual that needs it. It's unique that an organization would actually reward an individual or individuals outside its own organization. But the true uniqueness is that, this is about rewarding people that are still active in their careers, are deserving of the accolade and recognition that they have finished something now. The Sanford Lorraine Cross Award is about running an algorithm that evaluates over the past 10 years all of the discoveries, all of the publications and approvals and clinical trials that are in the public domain that have impacted medicine and research and science. That algorithm collates the frequency of all of these things, which says, okay, these are the major advances that we've had. We take that list and we take a look at that and then say, okay, these are the areas. We're not looking at individuals. We're looking at the areas that have most impacted medicine and humankind, really, when you think about it. And then we have a group of scientists and physicians. These individuals cross the whole gamut of medicine, research, and science. So then they can really agnostically assess what was the most impactful findings in the last few years. At that point in time, then it's on us to do our due diligence to say these are the 3 areas of the most advances, to go out and find the individuals that made those discoveries, made the major contribution to actually crossing the finish line and making that impact. And then they come and present to our international board. And that's a real interesting scenario because they're all winners in my mind. It's quite moving because most scientists, we're driven by something that happened in our personal lives, quite honestly. Sanford recognized that what was discovered by these individuals, what was pushed forward by these individuals, will go on and be recognized by others.
Well, it was a wonderful recognition of the work that we had done. In the year prior to the award, we had won approval from the FDA of the drug that we'd worked on together for a rare form of congenital blindness. And it was important because it was the first approval of this kind of gene therapy for an inherited disease. And since then, Novartis, which partnered on the program for the rest of the world, has achieved approvals in many other parts of the world. So of course, that sort of thing is its own reward. But it is nice to be recognized, especially among the other distinguished nominees. This year's event was special to me. First of all, of course, it brought back all the excitement of December 2018. I was pleased to learn when I heard the names of the nominees that 2 of them were people that I knew fairly well. And actually, I was assigned to sit at the table with Dr. Carl June.
The winner of the $1 million Sanford Lorraine Cross Award, Dr. Carl June.
I'm still waking up to the new reality. It was an amazing event. It was like a dream. I'm thinking, long term, how good this is for science. It's just an unbelievable day for us, and I think a new era for society in general. Over this last year, the public's learned the value of the immune system in a way they never knew. The immune system can be used to treat cancer. 10 million people die every year from cancer. And now, there's hope now.
She was born on May 2nd, 2005, and she had a full head of black hair and weighed 10 pounds. And she was perfectly healthy up until just after her 5th birthday. Emily was diagnosed in May 2010, and she had relapsed twice and came to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And she came at a time when we were just opening up the clinical trial in acute lymphoid leukemia. So it was really just in time in her case, and she received some chemotherapy to hold her while we were manufacturing her T cells. I'll never forget that image of Emily sitting on the bed, bald, being infused with the cells, her parents looking on and wondering what the future would hold. I picked her up on day 1 when she was diagnosed, and I said, Emily, only the strongest children are picked to fight cancer, and you're going to be a hero because you're going to beat it no matter what.
You know, it was one of these miraculous cases where she had a very severe side effect from the therapy called cytokine release syndrome, with fevers high enough that it made her unconscious. She was comatose. She had 106-degree fever for about 3 days.
We found out later that over 3.5 pounds of her body weight was cancer, and each one of those modified T cells can kill up to 1,000 cancer cells. So they went in there and started killing our cancer, and her body became overwhelmed, and she ended up in a coma and on a ventilator for 14 days. The doctors at the pediatric intensive care unit that night told us there was a 1 in 1,000 chance she'd survive the night. So I said, well, I'll see you at rounds tomorrow because she's going to beat her cancer. She woke up from that coma after they gave her the tocilizumab on her 7th birthday. So she came back to us and opened her eyes, and the staff sung happy birthday to her, and we took her home on June 1st of 2012. Now she's 8 years since she spent a night in the hospital. She's been cancer-free ever since.
I've never seen anyone that sick recover. So to go into remission within just 10 to 12 days after therapy was really astonishing. And that's how rapid CAR T cells can work. We were able to show that she had pounds, literally pounds of cancer in her bone marrow, in her spleen, and other organs, and it all went away.
What we've seen just over the past 12 months has put such a spotlight on how important research is, how important the advancement of cures is.
There's nothing quite as thrilling as discovering something in the lab. And when you find something and you're able to confirm a finding, maybe you do the experiment once, maybe you do it twice, maybe you do it 3 times. There's nothing quite like the feeling that you've discovered something that no one else in the world knows.
Science, you know, takes years. People also have to get used to failure. That's the only way you get better. And, you know, I always use the analogy of baseball where you're an all-star and in the Hall of Fame if you can get a base hit 1 out of 3 times, meaning 2 out of 3 times you fail. So in science, sometimes it's 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100. To take that path required a lot of persistence. Well, we have, fortunately, a really wide road that's paved ahead of us now because there's all kinds of tools that have come together, you know, this idea of synthetic immune systems, you know, which was a pipe dream for me for 30 years. You know, the people on my teams have each done things that, I mean, they all have now learned things that are invaluable now to making these new therapies possible. You know, I think, you know, my legacy will be hopefully, you know, that I was kind and, you know, worked hard and was lucky to be rewarded in my life. And that is more than anyone can ever expect. And there are so many people that have done great things and they didn't live long enough to see them happen. And in my case, I was able to witness it and you know, so that I've been blessed beyond belief, and I'm really thankful for that. But this whole last year has taught a lot of us, you know, about how short life can be and unexpected, and I've just been blessed. Every day I have now is a gift.
Innovation is usually something that takes time to be recognized because it creates change. So for us to recognize innovation before anybody else, that recognizes that, you know, Sanford is leading the way.
When research wins, we all win. Think about that against every single one of these disease states, and whether it's Batten's disease and the work that Dr. Pearce is doing, or people that are fighting type 1 diabetes. I mean, every single day someone's living in that world. For us to be able to try and help do our part, to hopefully inspire the next generation of individuals to go out and follow their lead and go and try and find a cure for something that was previously incurable. What a gift. What a gift to the next generation. What a gift to someone that you've never met before. You're impacting a life that, it's a nameless, faceless person. But the work that these finalists are doing, the work that we're helping to inspire and to celebrate, is an absolute game changer.